Hi, and welcome to the Can I Borrow Your Skin podcast. I am your host, Angelique Clemens, and this week we are still in Health and Wellness Month in January. And today's topic is something that hits very close to home for me, and I'm horrible about. So today I am talking to myself as long as I'm also talking to you. So let's jump right into it. We need to remove the pressures that others try to place upon us. And what do I mean about that? Is people will have expectations of us, and those expectations will always be upon us, whether it's from family, friends, our spouses, our loved ones, siblings, etc. Everyone has an expectation of you, who you should be, what you should be doing, etc. And it is so important that we take those expectations that others place upon us and remove them. It's like cleansing your aura of those outside voices. And we can also put that on ourselves. Like mom said something to us and we want to conform to what mom said. And so we take what mom said and we start building our lives based on that expectation. And we need to stop doing that. Every person wants to steer you in one direction. And this year in 2026, you have to ask yourself, where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? And those are the expectations that we should be placing upon us. If you followed me, my book, you know that I actually do a seminar called Who Am I? And in the Who Am I seminar and workshops, I sit down with people and I have them determine their true self. And once they determine their true self, I help them with motivational phrases to say to themselves in the mirror every day or every week. And based on talking to yourself about who you truly want to be, then you can get there. And I do those all the time. I could do it in a one on one session, I could do it in a group setting up to 8 people. And if you don't know who you are and where you want to be and who you are, I also help do some of that driving as well. But at the end of the day, if you don't know who you want to be and who you are, you can't strive to be that person. And so it's very important in this health and wellness month and throughout the year of 2026, you continually ask yourself, well, who am I? Because just like our weight fluctuates and changes, so does our impression and goals for ourselves. So continually ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to be? And am I on the correct path to get there? And what do? You have to accept your own timeline. You have to accept your own goals. And you have to accept your own seasonings, reasonings, and sprinkle. And what do I mean by seasoning and sprinkle? Well, just like you taste your food and you see if it needs just that little bit extra, you also need that little bit extra on your goals sometimes. You need that little bit extra on your timeline sometimes. And we tend to put pressure on ourselves. If we don't reach X goal and Y time frame, then we're a failure. No, we're not. Every single person has had to make an adjustment in some way, shape, or form. So it's okay to put that little bit of seasoning on your goal or your timeline. You are the only person that can do this. Be responsible to yourself. Like, don't allow yourself to be defined by others. Who you think you are and you loving yourself is more important than anyone else's opinion. Be realistic with your goals. I think there are all these sayings about having certain kind of goals, making them achievable, making them measurable, smart goals. And that's great to have those also in your personal life. Don't tell yourself this year I'm going to get engaged. If you don't even talk to humans, if you're not talking to them humans, you're probably not going to have a human want to love you enough to become engaged to them. Make your goals fit into your current life. If you know you work 8 days a week, then having that ninth day to yourself is just not going to happen. Yes, there's only 7 days in a week. It was kind of drawing, said map, same picture. Um, still reach for your goals within your time frame, your timeline of your life. If you want to write a book, but you don't have the time to even do an outline for your book, then don't say you're going to have your book done in 9 months. Say, I'm going to have my outline done in 9 months and make it detailed so that when you actually sit down and start the writing process, it will be easier on you and you can have a realistic time frame for that as well. Sometimes you have to adjust your goals, and that's okay as well. When I was a wee little young thing starting college, I wanted to be a neurologist. It was something I was passionate about. I watched some family members suffer with neurological diseases. I was like, I'm gonna be this surgeon. And it was a goal that I really ran with in college. And it took me probably 2 years into college to say to myself, self, do you really want to cut into a brain they didn't even have a lot of laser stuff back in the day, let alone some of the really cool technology they have now. And I was like, well, no, but I like the brain. I want to study the brain. So I adjusted from neurosurgeon to neurologist. And as I continually talk to myself, I continue to adjust my goals on what I want to do, how I want to do it. And I'm much happier now because of that. I have friends who stayed on that path, became surgeons, and they love what they do, but they also don't have as much free time, especially early on in the beginning. And what people don't realize is most doctors after medical school still have training. They still have classes and all these things. Like, to commit to be a doctor, you are looking at 6, 8, sometimes 12 years after school to get to the place where not only are you making money, but you have a actual career. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't look at that. They say, well, you go to college, you go to medical school, you're a doctor, and you're out there in the world. That's not how it works. So adjusting your timelines and giving yourself realistic goals is very, very important. And the expectations of others, like, you know, the joke is that every parent wants their kids to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. Well, that's great. But if you live your life based on those expectations and you fall short, it's very easy to look at yourself and think that you're a failure. And that grinds on you and that grinds on you. You slowly get pulled away and eaten away until you're nothing but a fine dust. Do not let that happen to you. Don't let other people's expectations ground you down. You have to build yourself up. You have to build your life. And yes, sometimes it's okay to be disappointed. Disappointment generally teaches you a lesson. So it's okay to have that disappointment. It is okay to use that disappointment to reevaluate yourself, to reevaluate your life, to reevaluate your goals, and to look at yourself and say, okay, plan A didn't work. Do I want to do plan A part two? Do I want to go to plan B? Do I want to skip plan B and look into part C? Do I not know where I'm going? Okay, that's fine too. It's okay to take that moment to float for a minute, to lean back on friends and family and say, I don't think this is what I want, but I don't know where I'm going. Can I talk to you? And listen to what they say, but take what they say from your lens. If you sit and you talk with family and friends and they give you some great ideas, but it's not exactly what you want, then take those great ideas and put them into your framework and say, well, this is similar to what I was thinking about, and it falls in line with the things that I love. I think I can do this with this little bit of seasoning. See, that's where that seasoning comes in again. Spend a lot of time with the people that motivate you. We all have those friends that are like walking sunshine and they lift us up and they make us feel good. And it is everything that we need in those difficult moments in our lives. And then we have those very realistic, very down to earth, sometimes killjoy ass friends that we only go to when we need to be grounded. Like we're floating up in the air and we're looking at the pie in the sky, and you're like, I need to talk to Killjoy real quick to make sure that this is truly obtainable, because that friend is going to give you that checklist, that A, B, C, D, E, if then that, if what, then that. And they're that no voice in your head. And so you got to talk to friend Killjoy sometimes and they need to help you frame the way you want to do things. And so it's great to have our sunshine and our Killjoy. And then we all have splatterings of those people in our lives. And some people are Killjoy when it comes to this topic, or they're sunshine on that topic. And you have those people that can be both. And that's also important as well. Me personally, I am both sunshine and Killjoy. Like I will be that person that can raise you up, but I'm not going to tell you something that is not at all realistic. You know, when you have those people in your lives, it's great. And I'm that kind of person where I will go to the kings and the queens in my life, the other queens in my life, just to my people. And I will say to them, you got this shit. Like, come on, let's go. And, you know, giving people those motivating messages is something that I find myself is important, but I also motivate myself. Every day I will go and I look at myself in the mirror, look deep into my own eyes, and I will say, Angelique, this is what you need to do. You got this shit. Yesterday is over. Tomorrow's not here. But today you're going to do X, Y, and Z. And I make those my goals. And sometimes, you know, you have that friend that has this goal and they're so down on themselves. They don't see how far they've come from the starting line. And, you know, I will go to that friend, whether it's in text or, you know, face to face over the phone. And I'm like, my queen, do you not see how far you've come? Or come on, my dog, my sir, my king, my liege, whatever it is, you know, and I build up the people in my life and I'm like, you know, sister, you got this. My queen, you got this. Girlfriend, let's go. Like I lift everybody up who needs that lifting. And when I see somebody being Icarus and reaching for that sun and them feathers are starting to melt, I'm like, let's give it a pause. Let's sit down. Let's regroup. Let's, you know, because you want to have that motivation, but you also don't want to have someone flying so close to the sun that they fall. So I am absolutely both sides of it. I'm gonna motivate people in my life, and you know, like I said earlier, everyone needs that personal affirmation. You know, I have mine, and I will look at myself and I talk to myself, and depending on what I'm, you know, talking to myself about and what I got going on in my head and what's pulling me down, I have different affirmations that I do. I actually have an affirmation book. My books, you can get them from my website. You can get them from Amazon, Barnes and Noble. But I have an affirmation book. And one of the most common things that I say when I don't feel like I've accomplished enough, I haven't done enough, I say, the earth moved today. It moved several thousands of miles today. And I didn't feel a single step. And sometimes we have to take a step back, look at where we started. Yeah, we know where we want to go, but look at where we started. Even if we've taken one step, we've gone somewhere. And sometimes we have to be appreciative of that one step that we took and say, I did that. I did that step. I made progress. I am no longer stuck where I was. I made progress. Yeah, that's my goal. It may seem far off, but today I made that motherfucking step. And that right there is an accomplishment. And we all need to do that for ourselves sometimes. We need to look at what progress we've made and focus on the positive of the progress instead of looking ahead and saying, that's really far off. But we thought where we were right now was really far off at some points in time. So it's the frame in which you look at things through. Everyone says it's the lens. And just like you have filters and lenses on your camera now, and you can flip, nope, not sepia tone, maybe black and white, nope, full color, adjust that, I want to blur on the side, You got to do that to your life sometimes. Like, yeah, okay, maybe this is perfect. And sometimes that perfect look is standing in that one place and glancing back over your shoulder every once in a while to see how far you've come. Now, I'm not saying focus on what was, and I'm telling you also not to look at what could be or what could have been. I want you to look at right here, right now, look down at your feet and say, I did a lot. Today was hard, but I got through it. So, where you want to go? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? What can help you get there? How can you answer those questions for yourself? Because no one else can answer them for you. There's always someone who can help you, who can guide you. But ultimately, it's up to you to say, what do I want? How am I going to go about getting that done? Who do I want to be? What was I? Where do I want to be? And what am I celebrating in me right here, right now, in this moment? For Health and Wellness Month here on Can I Borrow Your Skin, we talked about motivating yourself, taking care of and loving your brain, giving yourself that grace to accept who you are. Because none of the things that you want to accomplish in life will be accomplishable unless you love who you are right here, right now, in this moment. And then, of course, it's January. Everyone has those motivations and those resolutions and those I have to be better goals. Well, we talked about a lot of that being better. Those goals are going to be with the help and care of an IST. Now, as you already know, my pod comes out on Fridays. There are going to be 5 Fridays here in January. So your bonus is going to be about something that truly makes me happy, brings joy to my life. It's something that, as I spoke about on the other episode, you have to do things that make you happy. And so I'm going to take the 5th Friday in January and talk about one of the things that makes me the happiest, and that's football. So enjoy talking to yourself, doing things for yourself, loving upon yourself, motivating yourself. If you need that help, can I help you? I can help you with a motivating message. My kings, my queens, sisters, my brothers, let me know. Otherwise, drop some love in these comments. Click like. As I understand it, you can give me 5 stars. Do that. This is your call to action. Love you. Thank you. Thank you for riding with me here in January. Bye.